just wanna be with you.
All right, a little something different this Saturday morning. I'm gonna work on this barracuda behind me. I've got like an hour and a half to spare. We're supposed to go to soccer in Portland for our daughter's tournament, but this is the best way I've found to get stuff done, and that's to just come out and work a little bit when you can, especially when you coaching two kids sports and trying to race car and be a husband and a dad and anyway, life just gets busy. So here we are. Haven't touched this in a while. I was a little frustrated. Some things to know. I LS swapped this thing, and I put tons of upgrade parts in my LS motor. I haven't messed with them a bunch, but I fired the car up, ran great, fired it up, pulled it outside, parked it, went back out a month later, fired it up to pull it back in, and after it was dying, I need to mess with the tune in there. It's a little Terminator X ECU. Anyway, go to pull it in, and I noticed there's no oil pressure. I think that's weird. So what I believe has happened, and I guess I'm a moron for not knowing this, but there is an oil pressure relief in the oil pan. And when you put high volume oil pumps on, according to the internet, you need to buy a block off plug. It's just a special threaded bolt, essentially with a sealing washer on it. But they'll stick open and you got no oil pressure. So sucky for me, I got to pull the pan back out. Hopefully I don't have to pull the motor back out. But I also want to show you guys some seats that I bought a while ago, and I made some brackets. So stand by. All right, we're gonna do a little unboxing video of a jegs low back bucket seat. They're like a vintage looking low back seat. They're really inexpensive, or at least when I bought these. The left side was actually on back order, so I put the right side on the left side so I could drive this sweet car here. But for the money, this thing had a bench seat that was white. It's like, it had a decent back fold down seat. It's a 68 fastback Barracuda. And anyway, I ended up modifying some seat brackets. So this thing's been shoved over in the corner since it showed up on back order. And I'm just really impressed with these. I know they're from China. So is everything else. I think these things were, I don't even want to butcher it. I think I got them on sale for like $200 and something a seat, $229 maybe, $239. Look at that. That thing's sweet or what? So here's my sweet car. Got an aluminum steering column that I cut down. Got kind of a vintage steering wheel. Got this sweet shifter mount. It's pretty much what the back seat looked like, or the floorboard ever looked like. I put some subframe connectors in. Obviously rust falling down everywhere. It's not a real nice car, but this thing's gonna be sweet. Plus, I think it's worth walking around and showing you guys like what it takes to get everything out of the way. All this crap is piled up by the car. You know, it's not all glamorous, so now I have like wasted 15 minutes getting this stuff unburied. Now we're gonna come here, find my seat bracket that I modified. Had to cut. So these I think were made by Scat or Procar. Somebody makes seats. So I bought one of their frame kits. Or no, these are universal. Bought them from Speedway Motors. Had to lop a foot off there, do some sweet welding. Anyway, yeah, that thing fits awesome. Just wander around a little bit. Remember where you were like 4 months ago? Oh, here it is. Here's my pile of stuff. Need to do a quarter window regulator. Man, I should do a video on that, but it's gonna just be a lot of swearing. I've tried to adjust this quarter window and can't get it done. So I bought a new quarter window off eBay from a Dart, but the thing's bent. So I messed around with it for a really long time and it's bent. Anyway, let's check out the motor here. What do we got cooking? It's a little 5.3. It's not the cleanest little swap in the world, but got some forward-facing S10 headers. And I just ran the exhaust down here. Got this sweet Amazon radiator. Dude, it was 200 bucks with a fan. And what else? This thing has a AJE K-member. About 10 years ago, I had AJE, it's hard to see, make these bolt-in upper strut mounts for me. They had discontinued them, so they're a bolt-in upper strut mount. I wanted to see if I could put Mustang front suspension under one of these, and it sits pretty high, but I can. I need to lower it. I need to extend the lower control arms. And right now, I got the exhaust just going right here because it's awesome. My plan was eventually this thing should get a turbo kit. So might as well have the exhaust come out the front and figure that stuff out later. But it works and it's pretty sweet. So I know Mopar guys are gonna be like, why would you LS swap a Mopar? I had a 5.3 laying around. I had a turbo 400. I had already put an 8.8 Ford rear end in this thing. It was a cheap car, and yeah, there's a lot of Chinese parts on it. Dude, China makes a lot of stuff, and I buy quality for this thing. You know, a cheap little project car. I just wanted something to go pick the kids up from school in, and a little Joe Dirt style hot rod, you know. Go do some burnouts. That's it. It's kind of sad because all these race cars, my kids have never really ridden in a cool old classic car. My dad has a 72 Dart. But man, it makes like 150 horsepower. Love you, Pops. But anyway, see you guys. All right, so I was gonna buzz this rack off this seat and bolt it on this seat, and I reused the hardware and snapped the bolt off. So China for the win. That sucks. That's about all the time I had anyway. I'm gonna have to try to get some vice grips or something on here and not fuck up the seat. We'll see how that goes. So I only got like 5 minutes left, but I pulled this off. There was just a little snap ring here in this metal frame, so kind of tuck this stuff out of the way. Probably should have done that to begin with. I really didn't want to take it apart. All right, so came home from soccer last night, went to Lowe's, got some sweet China 12.9 metric fasteners, squirted some anti-seize on here. In fact, I was so confident that I came out here in nice clothes, grabbed the anti-seize jug, right? I know, it's dangerous, and put these babies in here. I wanted some sense of accomplishment before I went to bed, and yesterday when I left off with the video, I just didn't have any sense of accomplishment because that fucking bolt broke. So, now that these are out, hang on. Now that these are out, I'm going to clean up my custom mounting holes in the floor, and I'm going to come out here, I think, and wire brush this, vacuum this, and use the rest of my Eastwood, pour 15. There's a couple of rust holes that I need to weld up. I got some custom welds down here. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. There's a lot of rust repair needed back here in the trunk. I got some custom patchwork back here that I've already done, but the wheel tubs, that's pretty roached. So I'd really like to drive this thing. So I think we're just going to kind of call that good once I pour 15 in here. And then I can get the seat mounted, and maybe I'll just use some tape or something to prevent weather from coming in here. But I don't know. I don't really feel like welding on that anymore. I've welded a lot on this car, the floorboard. There was a bunch of holes up here too. Did the same thing. There's a little patch right there. It's pretty solid. So the car's just not very nice. But I also pour 15 the roof and wire brush that once upon a time. So I just want to make this thing a decent driver. So I think we're gonna be close to having that done. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. It's not a restoration, and I might sell it. So I don't know. We'll just see where things go. But I think getting to a point where this thing could be fired up, drove to the store, get some insurance on it, things like that. Wire up the electric fan. Need to do that. Get some coolant in here. I think it'll be ready to go. Stand by. Alright, so we hit a couple of these bare metal spots, and otherwise the trunk floor is pretty solid. Yeah, I think some quick easy patches right around there and there and there and there. This thing would be pretty much watertight. But the floor turned out nice, and that'll turn out decent, and I see all those rust bubbles right there. But yeah, for a driver, I think this thing's gonna be all right, dude. Most of the factory wiring's still in here. Got the gauge cluster, got the heater box. I think there's 2 heater boxes. Anyway, thanks for following along. A little bit of elbow grease. We got this thing, the floor pan, pretty much prepped for a driver anyway. Yeah, we'll get the back seat in and the front seats in, and then pull this oil pan off of here, get this thing kind of dialed in, and then mess with this front suspension, and we should be able to go do some burnouts. So anyway, thanks for joining me. All right, smash that like button and subscribe.